You are watching the Dangerous News Network, and I am Daniel McFarland. And today's topic is going to be about the Detroit Pistons. Game 6 was on Monday night. We played the Trailblazers, and the Pistons lost again. It's a 3-game losing streak. You can't even beat a mediocre team like the Portland Trailblazers. You're not going to win anything. That's a fact. But let's look at the analysis. Brandon Jennings had 28 points, but he only had 5 assists, and he took 24 shots to get 28 points. We need better from Brandon Jennings from a point guard standard. We know he can score, but is he willing to pass? That's the question. But here's what I got from the Portland Trailblazers game that the Detroit Pistons lost. Brandon Jennings, he's still a chucker. He's still the same chucker he was in Milwaukee. I can see why Milwaukee got rid of him. But it's not like Brandon Knight was going to do any better. He sucks at point guard. However, Brandon Jennings, he does have potential. And he's the best we could have done at this moment. But we need a real point guard. And he does have trade value due to showing flashes of his being his real point guard self. You see, what I would do is trade Brandon Jennings for Rajon Rondo. And yes, Greg Monroe's expendable too. Now let's look at the shooting guard. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope didn't play again. Maurice Cheeks is starting to get on my nerves. I didn't like the coaching hire in the summer, and I'm seeing why he didn't have coaching job offers in the last 5 years. Lionel Hollins was available. And I'm willing to bet that Lionel Hollins will be playing Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, even if he doesn't start him. That's a real deal. Let's look at Josh Smith. At least he didn't take a lot of shot attempts because Brandon Jennings was too busy chucking the ball. He was too busy chucking the damn ball. Those shots need to be going to Greg Monroe and Andre Drummond. That's the truth. But here's how we shift the lineup. Suck it up with Kyle Singler at small forward. Switch Josh Smith to power forward. Greg Monroe is the center. And Andre Drummond can come off the bench. He hasn't proven anything yet. But because Andre Drummond has all the hype, he's starting at center. Greg Monroe's actually proven himself as a starting big man. He's proven himself as a starter. But we need some changes. We need some major changes. Chauncey Billups, he shouldn't be starting anymore. He should be coming off the bench. That was obvious. That was obvious in game one. But here's where Joe Dumars missed the boat. He might not have missed the boat on the Kentavious Caldwell Pope pick, but not playing him, that's where the coach missed the boat. Now, Brandon Jennings was the best we could have done at point guard. No one was going to give us Rajon Rondo. Boston isn't going to give us Rajon Rondo unless we give something in return. And Brandon Knight, that ain't a shit return. That's a shit return at best. But Kentavious Caldwell Pope should at least be playing, if not starting. Andre Iguodala was the obvious choice, unless Greg Monroe was traded, which is not prudent considering what he's shown as a starter. But it ain't like Andre Drummond and Greg Monroe have shown that they could work as a tandem. It's not like it's that mismatched front court that's more of a problem than the back court. Yeah, the back court's a joke. You can tell you that. The backcourt is a fucking joke. You see, we don't have a real point guard. We don't have anything of quality. Now, KCP, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, he hasn't proven anything yet, but at least he should be getting 15 minutes. Yes. He can play defense, and once his shot comes around, give him more minutes. But at least give him 15 minutes, even though he ain't proven much. But Rodney Stuckey is actually our best overall guard, outside of Brandon Jennings, that is. And we can't play Bynum with Stuckey. No way. But I would bury Bynum. Fuck him. He ain't done shit. Chauncey Billups is a 15-minute guy. Chauncey Billups, he's a 15-minute guy at best at this stage of his career. I have a feeling that Chauncey Billups is going to retire after this year is over. But what Joe Dumars needs to do is he needs to trade Brandon Jennings. And I'm betting that Greg Monroe is as good as gone at the trade deadline. You know why? I don't think he's going to give Greg Monroe a max contract to be just above mid-tier. But that's the going rate for guys like Roy Hibbert and Greg Monroe, getting max contracts just to be just above mid-tier. But Brandon Jennings, Greg Monroe, Charlie Villanueva, and Rodney Stuckey, I think they're going to be all traded at the same time. But here's what I propose. We get Jeff Green, Rajon Rondo, Courtney Lee, and Avery Bradley. Rajon Rondo, the pure point guard. Our backcourt could be Rajon Rondo. He's a real point guard. Either Courtney Lee or if Kentavious Caldwell-Pope comes around mid-year, he starts over Courtney Lee. But I think Courtney Lee will be starting over Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Jeff Green, he got dynamic scoring potential. We wouldn't be missing a lot. Whatever we were missing from Greg Monroe, we will make up for it for Jeff Green. And Josh Smith, he can score just enough. He's not a shooter. He can score just enough to be effective. Plus, he can play defense. That's why you keep Josh Smith and Andre Drummond. Joe Dumars is hyping him, and he's not going to trade Drummond. So Drummond is who we're going to go with. Hopefully Drummond does evolve into a superstar. But I don't have that high of a hopes for him. I think he's just another version of Tyson Chandler. But if we make that trade, we'd be a better team. But we're going to be giving, if we make that trade, though, we're giving Charlotte that draft pick in 2014. So there is no room for improvement. Let's just hope. Hopefully Andre Drummond evolves into something more than a Tyson Chandler. Even though I'm not saying that. It's not a bad thing, but let's hope the better chance is Jeff Green becomes a dynamic scorer. And Kentavious Caldwell-Pope finally evolves. And Rajon Rondo is still the superstar point guard he was, the borderline superstar point guard he was in Boston before that injury. That's your best hope. But I have a feeling that Chauncey's going to retire. But that is my take on last night's game and my thoughts on where the Pistons are right now. And this is Daniel McFarland on the Dangerous News Network, and I approve this message.